Hi guys, welcome back to another monthly reading log. Woo woo! So I know that I didn't make one for the month of October last month, so this will be a combination of those two. I had some technical difficulties as I was transferring files from my old laptop to my new one, so I hope you guys don't mind. I wasn't able to read that much for the month of October anyways because it's been a hectic time, I'm sure, for a lot of people. So before we dive into what I read this month, I have a very exciting little unboxing clip that I'm about to show you guys from Zenpop Japan. I'll be unboxing a very cute, adorable food box from Osaka, Japan. I'm sure a lot of you guys are foodies and will really love the foods that I'll show. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy that. Hi guys, it's voiceover mangatama here to introduce you guys to Zenpop. Zenpop is a Japanese subscription box service that's actually based in Osaka, Japan. They were founded in 2016 and they actually send out these subscription boxes all over the world. So they have mainly 4 boxes to choose from: ramen and sweets mix, sweets, and a stationery box. And they change the themes behind these boxes every month, so you're getting something new. And so my box came in this little cute orange box with Zenpop's mascot Luna on it. And she actually has her own Instagram, literally the most adorable thing I've ever seen. And so if you guys are interested in trying out Zenpop's boxes, you have so many options. So there are options for 1, 3, 6, and 12-month plans, and if you're interested in just getting this box as like a one-time gift, they have that available to you as well. Alright, so wow, I'm so excited to see what's in the contents of this. Zenpop was so kind enough to send me this box from Osaka. Here are all the different subscription boxes that you guys can get. And then they let me choose which box I want, and I ended up going for the ramen and sweets mix pack because I couldn't commit to either ramen or sweets. Both are so great. So here is the December 2020 box. And here we have a couple introductions. So we have this tomato cream ramen. So yeah, here we have the snacks. We have a petite potato chip garlic soy. Oh my gosh, I'm like salivating even though I just ate lunch. And they even give a little Japanese lesson, which is super cute. So okay, let's just dive right into the actual food. Wow, thank goodness I ate earlier or I'd be munching down these things. If you guys are interested, I can review some of these on my Instagram. So here we have the green pea snacks, and this is black pepper flavored. Actually really like them, and my family really likes these too. Alright, and then here we have the potato ring. So this is such a cute travel size snack. I could definitely see myself bringing this outside. Oh, and here we have the caramel twist, the kari kari twist. So interesting. I've never tried these. I know when I go back to Japan, my great aunt always buys me so much food, but I've never tried a lot of these, so I think that's really unique. And then we have this latte choco pie. I've never tried this flavor before. I think this is some cheesecake, Basque cheesecake flavored. But this looks so good. Holy cow, I've never tried this flavor. I've only ever had the original. Oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite childhood snacks ever. So these are potato chips, but they're mini, and then they come in this long tube, and so there's like a plastic container here that you can pull out and put it on your desk and eat it. Love this brand. I eat so much of their stuff whenever I go back to Japan. This is actually garlic soy sauce flavored, which I've never tried before. I've only ever tried the original flavor, but yeah, I'm so excited to try this. This looks so good. My family is going to steal all of this from me. Alright, and here we have this popcorn, Mike's salt and sesame oil flavored popcorn, which is so interesting. I've never heard of anyone calling some snacks sesame oil flavored, so I'm really excited to see what that tastes like. Really excited to try this out. And finally, we are on to the ramen, my absolute favorite. I love ramen so much, and as a college student, you guys would know the importance of ramen. Here we have a QTTA Maruchan ramen. So this is tomato cream. I am so intrigued. I have never seen this flavor as a ramen, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to taste. Hopefully by the time I'm editing this, I would have already eaten it. I really like the pink, it's very cute. Alright, and then the last thing in this box is a charcoal grilled agodashi udon. This looks so good. It only takes 5 minutes to make, and this is a very classic ramen. Yeah, charcoal grilled. All these adjectives be making this sound so good, and I'm really excited to try this out. And the expiration dates for all of these are all in 2021, I think, so they give you an adequate time to be consuming these. That's it for everything in this box. I hope you guys kind of like the mini unboxing, but of snacks instead. This was so fun. If you guys enjoy these, maybe I'll bring more snacks onto the channel very occasionally, because I really do enjoy eating. I love food a lot, and so I'm very thankful to Zenpop for sending me this all the way from Osaka, and they were so kind enough to actually give me a code for me to give to you guys that you guys can use when you guys are checking out to get a discount on your order. So be sure to check that down below. I'll be linking all of the information and the links to Zenpop where you can place your order for these subscription boxes. So if you guys are big foodies like me and really love Japanese food, I feel like these subscription boxes are such a great way to do that, especially since now it's like impossible to travel and going to grocery markets like your closest Asian market is not very feasible as well. In this case, they send everything right to you and it's a surprise every time. So yeah, I'll be eating all of this very soon, and let's move back on to my monthly reads. So the first thing is Sword Princess Amaltea, and so I got this from Natalia Batista, who is such an amazing artist and is also a very sweet person. She also has her own YouTube channel, so I'll link all of her info down below. But so she has her own series, and this is just a 3-volume series, and I had so much fun reading this month. It was really interesting, to say the least. Kind of the story behind this and the setup is that this is a kind of like medieval traditional story, but with a very untraditional twist. So this talks about a royal family who has traditions, you know, and has to go befriend other nations and in order to keep good relations between the kingdoms, and it has a lot of great fight scenes and dialogue and things like that. But the twist is that this is set in an alternative reality where females are the power holding people. So the kingdoms are ruled by the queens because the queens have magical powers, and so basically it's very flip-flopped. And so throughout the story you can kind of see how all the male characters are depicted as very feminine. So as you can see right here, we have one male character that is shown in volume 1, and you can kind of see how he is very feminine looking, and this is the main male character, and you can also see he's very feminine looking. So I really enjoyed how Natalia kind of played to the stereotypes and also the power between, you know, male and females back in the day as well. You can see the main character Amaltea is a very strong-willed and also a very physically strong character. So she is seen defending the prince and a lot of the male characters many times. The overall story is how Amaltea has to go save a prince from a tower that's guarded by a dragon. So that's something you normally hear in Rapunzel fairy tales where the girl is being rescued, but in this case it's very different, and I really enjoyed reading something this different. So if you guys are interested to see how that entirely plays out, I highly recommend you check out this series, and it's also hilarious as well. There are some great comedic lines in here, and Amaltea's horse also offers a lot of funny insight into the story, which I really enjoy every couple of pages. And as you can tell, this art is fantastic. Just look at Amaltea, she's absolutely gorgeous. I really love all the character designs, the armor, and you can really tell that Natalia put a lot of thought into this. She kind of talks about her character design and the character development. And so this series basically just combines medieval, kingdom, royalty, sorcery, but also with very untraditional gender roles and stereotypes and power dynamic. Yeah, after reading the 3rd volume, I wish there was more to the story, and I hope that there is a sequel sometime in the future. The art is phenomenal again, and the storytelling. Thank you so much, Natalia, for sharing this wonderful series with me, and I hope a lot of you guys watching out there can pick this up and check it out whenever you can. Alright, and the next series after Sword Princess Amaltea is Dead Man Wonderland. Absolutely am loving it so far. And so in volumes 3 and 4, we kind of get to see more character development, a little bit more behind Yo's intentions and the reason why he is in the prison in Dead Man Wonderland in the first place. And this character is introduced. She is a very interesting character. I was kind of scared of her in the beginning, but you know, she becomes more likable later on, or at least in the fourth one. I know in my first 2 volumes I said I really liked Shiro. I mean, no, I still really like her, but I feel like in these 2 volumes we got to learn a lot about her, but not completely too much yet. It's still kind of mysterious, but yeah, we learned a lot of her backstory and, you know, what kind of character she is, and my heart really ached for her in volume 4. If you guys know what I'm talking about, those last few pages of volume 4 really hit me. And yeah, I overall just really like where this story is going so far. I really like how they joined forces, and they really tried to put out there that Dead Man Wonderland is not an ethical place to be. And so I really like their journey through that, and man, the series is a roller coaster. There's never one moment where I feel bored. There are a ton of side characters too that are involved deeply, and all the characters are so interesting as well. Just even the new characters that they met in this volume, like this woman right here, I also really came to like her and also learn more about her. And yeah, this little girl is absolutely terrifying. And there's Shiro looking all cute. And yeah, this wonderful colored page. Shiro looks so mature and elegant in here. What? But anyways, as I said, absolutely love this series. If you guys are kind of on the fence about whether to pick this up, I highly recommend. I'm sure a ton of other people also really enjoyed this series. Alright, this next series I've talked a lot about already on my YouTube channel. I think, actually no, I might not have. I might be thinking of some other video, but here it is. It is Tomo-chan is a Girl. I'll be talking more about this in my haul video. This month's videos are kind of all over the place and out of order, so I'm sorry for that, but here is Tomo-chan is a Girl. I currently have volumes 1 through 6 of this series, and if you guys are following me on my Instagram, you guys would know I am absolutely loving this series. I actually already finished it this month, but this series is so funny and so relaxing. This one's very different from all the other series that I read this month, so I really enjoyed this. This is not your typical romance comedy. It is a romance comedy, but it's definitely very different with the character dynamics, and as you can kind of see just by the title, Tomo-chan is a girl, so that's the message that we're trying to drive home to Tomo's guy friend, because you know she likes him and she wants him to see her as a girl, but he hasn't been ever since they grew up together as childhood friends. So this overall series is basically her trying to get him to notice her as a girl, which I find is hilarious, and there's a lot more to the story actually. Here we have some of the other characters. These two, I love them so much. They're absolutely hilarious when they're seen together in the manga. Top-notch comedy. I feel like one of the most hilarious series that I've read so far. So here we have Tomo and the 2 side characters, and yeah. And Tomo is such a sweetheart as well, so I came to really like her in this series. And here's volume 4. And so this one kind of correlates with Sword Princess Amaltea in a sense that it kind of reverses the gender stereotyping. Amaltea was talking about gender roles, expectations, and also stereotypes, but this one is just mostly about stereotyping. So I found that very interesting. And yeah, here we have another side character looking pretty scary, but he has interesting duality. So yeah. And the last volume of the series that I physically own is volume 6. I actually got the rest of the series in digital form on Amazon, but I will be getting the physical form just because I really love it, and I'm only 2 volumes away. So yeah, so the guy character is June, as you can see right here on the front, and he's, you know, pretty cool looking as well, just as cool as Tomo. So they actually go really well together, and I rooted for them the entire time throughout the series. I'm sure you guys will too if you guys end up reading it. Anyways, if you guys are looking for a very lighthearted romantic comedy, honestly, there wasn't even too much like gooey romance in there. It's mostly about like friendships because they are already really close. So this is unlike any of those other shoujos where like the two main characters see each other for one day and start falling in love. So this is very different from that, and so I highly recommend that you guys check this out whenever you guys have the time. But yeah, I will definitely be rereading this over and over again in the next coming months just because I love it so much. I am already looking forward to rereading the entire thing once my volume 7 and 8 get here. Alright, this next series is also one that I was really excited to continue, and that's Ajin Demi-Human Volume 3. So I got this from Right Stuff a while ago, and I've been dying to read this, so I finally just settled down one night and started reading this. And I think this volume definitely gets a little bit more deep, which I didn't think was possible. So if you guys have read Ajin's volume 1 or 2 or just basically know the story behind it, basically this one boy turns out to be a demi-human after, you know, he gets run over and he realizes that he can revitalize, or he is reborn. Or throughout the entire first 2 volumes, I was rooting for Nagai, really wanted him to be freed from the institution that he was put into, and I just wanted the world to accept demi-humans. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys felt the same way, but this volume 3 really kind of made me wishy-washy. It kind of contradicted with my beliefs and assumptions in the previous 2 volumes, but basically this volume kind of breaks down Nagai's character and makes us rethink whether we want to be rooting for him or not. Because one of the most basic human character traits is, you know, the capability to feel empathy and sadness and to relate with other people. But, you know, that is something that we assume all humans have. But in this volume, it was a very interesting choice to rather kind of make us question that. So after he saves the doctor, at the very end of this volume, you can see how Nagai literally says, "So yeah, it goes to show that lending people a hand isn't a great idea." And he says this 1 or 2 days after he decides to save a doctor's life, and the doctor had saved Nagai's life beforehand. He was a very kind and compassionate soul and wanted to help him out and actually help Nagai escape. And the doctor was shot, and so Nagai was debating whether he wanted to save the doctor or not because he was still alive at this point. And so he did end up saving him, but he just said some things throughout this series that just makes you wonder whether he is like a sociopath, if you know what I mean. He like lacks the feeling to empathize and to feel sad for other people. So I don't know, this volume was so interesting, and you learn more about demi-humans, and you also learn about the movement that is starting to gather behind the demi-human population against the humans. A wonderful read. I read this late at night and it just made me wonder about every single thing. So I will definitely be picking up the rest of the series. It's so great so far. So the last series that I decided to read this month is Berserk volume number 4 Deluxe. So yeah, I am stunned. This volume was phenomenal as always. So basically the last chapter started the eclipse. It has not finished yet in this volume. After starting the eclipse, it's very intense. There are so many things going on, and you get flashbacks to Griffith's backstory and, you know, his ambitions the whole time. Like, what were his motives for gathering the Band of the Hawk? You know, basically, what did he want? What was his dream? And this entire volume kind of questions that, because you can see him being so helpless in the first like 2/3, where basically in this entire volume, Griffith is so like incapable of anything. He can barely lift his hand, nonetheless fight again for his dream. And so you feel really bad for him in this volume, and then but near the end you kind of go like, bro, like that's not right. So, you know, I kind of get the meme now where people say Griffith did nothing wrong. I'm sure there are more instances of this in the next volume, where he clearly is not in his right mind and does very wrong things, but it's just from what I've read so far, I can see where everything is going, because he literally just decides to betray everybody that trusted him and that looked up to him. So, you know, I find that very scummy and not good at all. Anyways, just besides the plot aspect and everything, the character development in this volume was great. But yeah, so this entire volume kind of revolves around saving Griffith, And it also shows like what's going to happen after. Like Casca and Guts talk about what they're going to do after they save Griffith, but none of them expect that it was going to end up the way it did. So yeah. But yeah, throughout this, I also, again, just like the last volume, I really like Guts and Casca's dynamic. They were so cute throughout. I think that really added a lot of relief in the intense parts. You know, we can see Guts and Casca eyeing each other, and I just thought that was so adorable, and that, you know, they both deserve some kind of happiness. So I know that they're not going to be too happy in the upcoming volume, but I really do hope that they find happiness. So I am so excited to see what's going to come up next. I'm sure there's going to be so many great moments, and I'm having so much fun just from reading the first 4 deluxe editions, which is 12 volumes. And there's so many more volumes for me to read that I'm so excited to dive into and to read in the future. Now I'm just waiting for the deluxe editions to slowly come out, but I think it will be worth it in the end to collect these beautiful deluxe editions. And so yeah, absolutely love Berserk. There's really not much else I can say. I've already talked about Berserk and I think every one of my monthly manga logs, and it just gets better and better, does not disappoint. So guys, don't be scared to pick this series up if you haven't. And for those of you guys who suggested this to me in the very beginning when I first started my channel, thank you guys. This has been one of the best journeys I've been on, and I'm excited to see what's coming forward. Alright, so this is everything that I read this month and also for the month of October. If you guys are also in school currently, you guys would know that this is a very tough time for any type of school system, quarter, semester, you know, so many midterms, so many finals going on, and so many projects. Oh my goodness, I have been so overwhelmed with schoolwork and extracurriculars. So I apologize again for the lack of consistency for monthly manga reading logs. I hope to read a bunch more in the coming months just because I have amassed a pretty large collection, and I have a bunch of series that I haven't started yet that I'm really excited to start and to continue collecting if I like them. So yeah, those are my plans for the future, and basically I just really loved everything that I read this month. Berserk, fabulous. Sword Princess Amaltea, very different series, so this was so refreshing and it was such a fun series. And the Deadman Wonderland, absolutely wonderful action scenes. This plot is so great. Tomo-chan is a girl, again, so good. Chef's Kiss, you know, one of my favorite series of all time currently. This has added itself into that collection in my head. This is my type of story, so if you guys have any other recommendations that are very similar to Tomo-chan is a girl, please let me know down below. I've been looking to get into more lighthearted and relaxing ones, but then Ajin, also wonderful. So yeah, this is all I read for this month, and I'm curious as to what you guys read this month as well, so please let me know down below, and also, you know, give me some recommendations if you guys have any. And that'll be all for this month. I'll be coming out with my monthly haul very soon after this video, as well as some new fun video ideas in the future after the chaotic mess that is school. So yeah, I hope you guys good luck in your own endeavors at work, school, or whatever. And I hope you guys have a lot of time to read manga as well. And happy Thanksgiving to those of you guys who celebrate it. Happy holidays, and hope to see you guys in my monthly haul very soon. Oh my god, my wave was too intense. Alright, bye!